Now, for most 14-year-olds, running away to another country is just a dream. But back in 1980, a German teenager, Michael Denninger, packed a tent, grabbed his guitar and travelled alone across Europe to County Clare after meeting two Irish sisters on holiday. What followed was a summer of music, adventure and friendships that would last a lifetime, and a love of Clare that still inspires him today. Let's cross to Germany and speak with Michael Denninger. Michael, thank you so much for joining me on Morning Focus.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Greetings to Ireland.
Michael, running away to another country at 14 sounds like something from a movie. It sounds like the movie Catch Me If You Can without the airplanes. What on earth possessed you to do it? Tell us more about these two Irish sisters. They must have had made an incredible impression on you.
And it was not only the two sisters, it was the time before as well. I was always dreaming about Ireland. Years ago with my best friend, we collected pictures and listened to the Irish music. And then we met these girls from the school trip. And this was an idea where to go in Ireland. And then I saw pictures from Clare and so on. And I went, hey, this is a goal where I have to go to. And then I decided, take my money, pack my bag, and start the trip.
So you head off. Your parents. I'm presuming you gave them some baloney story about what you were actually doing.
No, I didn't. Of course, I didn't tell them. I was telling them I'm going to visit a friend and stay overnight there. I did this a few times before, so they were used to it. And next day we had a long day at school, so I had 2 days at least time to go until they were searching for me.
Okay, so you decide to head off, and this is with money from your confirmation.
Yeah, it was. Exactly, it was 500 marks at these times, and the trip by train to Limerick and back originally costed 506 marks. So I've got the 6 marks of course as well. So I bought the ticket and started the trip.
So in terms of that trip, let's talk about the starting point. I mean, where in Germany are you from? Because back then, of course, 1980, Germany was divided into East and West. And did that, if you were in the East, make travel any more difficult for you, or were you in the West?
I was in the West. I come from the northern part of Bavaria. There's this little town called Coburg. It's about 100 kilometers north of Nuremberg. So you have an idea where it is.
Okay, so your guitar, your tent, your ticket. Tell us about the journey, where it took you.
Oh my goodness! I started very easy. I left my bike on the train station and jumped in the train. There were some difficulties when I crossed the Belgian border. The policeman took me in her area because I only had a children's passport at these times. And they asked me, why are you traveling alone? How does it come? Why don't you go to school? And I told them a story that the school was burning and I'm working in a farm and I had my father in summer and I have such good results. He gave me as a present this trip to Ireland and so on and so on. And after half an hour, they let me out and I could continue my travel. On the next borders, I got help from a German family on the border to Ireland. A lovely lady from USA took me across the borders and I'm my cousin. And so and then I made it finally to Ireland.
You must be very convincing in telling stories, Michael, but I suppose when you're 14 and you're trying to travel through multiple countries to get to Ireland, you must have expected you were going to come up against some potential stumbling blocks. Had you rehearsed this story, or was this just something you came up with off the top of your head, and were you amazed that it worked?
Yes, as I said, I was amazed that it worked. Even today, I can't believe that it worked, and I can't believe they believed me in the stories I was telling them. So, but they did.
Well, storytelling is a great skill in Clare, so maybe that's another link. Maybe you had ancestors from Clare originally. So you arrive into Clare, and where do you go? You try to track down the two sisters.
Yeah, I started in Limerick and then I hitchhiked to direction Spanish Point. I said in Milton Bay with hiking, and then I walked by foot until the last few kilometers to Spanish Point because I had the address of the two sisters, and I know they were living in somewhere in Spanish Point, and I built up my tent on the cliffs on the field. It was really wonderful evening. And then I waited on the main road. I walked around and waiting because I know they were in school, and these times, probably today as well, school lasted until 4 p.m. or someone, and walking around and looking for people coming from school, and I talked to some of them, and they said, these are the sisters, they're there, go to that way, and then I met them over there on the street.
Brilliant! You actually tracked them down, and given Clare was somewhere you had dreamed of going to, did the reality match up to what was in your head? Like when you crawled out of your tent and saw the sights and sounds and smells, what was it like?
It was overwhelming, to be honest, really. If you have a dream, you have pictures in your mind, but if you then experience it, you feel this. If you feel the wind and you smell the sea and everything, it was so great. And I can't explain to someone who didn't stay there. Even to my wife, she went with me then afterwards to these areas. But it was really overwhelming, and it was more than a dream that fulfilled at this time.
And when you turned up at the sisters' house, had you told them beforehand you would plan to travel? Were they completely shocked when they saw you?
I guess they were a little bit shocked.
Where did you come from? Germany.
Yeah, really. They asked me, is it you? My nickname was Dennis at this time. So, hey, is it you? Haven't we met last year? Yeah. So then they asked me, where are you staying? And so on. I said, I'm here fine with my tent on the cliffs. I said, oh, no, you can't stay there. We'll ask our parents, maybe they have a solution. And after an hour or two, they came back and said, hey, we invite you to our house, come. And then, I was invited to stay at their house for 2 weeks.
So you stay for a fortnight at the Ironside family's house. What do the Ironside's parents make of this? Or given your skill for weaving believable stories, did you spin them a similar yarn?
Yeah, rather similar, but they didn't ask that much. I was very close to the mother. I helped her in the kitchen, but I really think I left more a mess than anything else. And I helped the father. He's a pet doctor. So I went, they had always a lot of dogs in their house. And so I took the dogs with me and went with them out on the cliffs and on the fields and helped with some minor works.
You ended up staying with another family as well, then the Stackpool family in Lahinch. Yeah. That was for even longer, a month. How did that come about?
Yeah, after a few adventures and sleeping on the street in Lahinch, I went to the beach over there, and there are these high rocks, and I sit on one of them and played guitars, and then 4 girls were walking from left to right, right to left to right, and after a few times they asked me, who are you, what are you doing? And then I told them my story. They asked me, where do you want to sleep? And I don't know, maybe up there, but there was, this time I think it still is, the golf course. So you can't sleep over there, but maybe you can build up your tent in our garden. They asked the parents as well, and they allowed me to build up my tent in their garden, and so I did. And then nearly similar to the Ironsides at the Stackpool's house, I helped in the garden. I painted the house. I took the cows from the fields home together with the dad. I think Willie was his name, and sometimes I tried to cook some German meal, but it was more a disaster. But I finally did, and so I was very close with the sons of the family. It's Joe and Liam, who unfortunately passed by long years ago, but also with the different sisters. Of course, I was 13 and 14, and the sisters were from 12 to 16 or 17. It was very exciting a lot of these times.
I bet it was. I bet it was. It sounds so carefree, Michael. You know, you're hanging out with the Ironsides, you're hanging out with the Stack Pools, pitching in and helping out in the houses. You're wandering around Clare. You were even playing guitars in pubs, and waking up in a ditch with your guitar in your arms. When you look back now, does it seem so carefree?
Yes, it was. It was for me not only an adventure. It was also for me. I run away from home because if I was really bored, I want to go to an adventure tour, and it was so free. I had nothing to do in case of I don't have to go to school or to work. I was too young for that, but I could live all day long. And I went around with the dog. I played guitar. I took part of the family life. This was, I think, a thing you can never can do it again today. So, and it was really brilliant. I really am very thankful to both of the families that they gave me the chance to experience that.
And I wonder about that as well. You had an image of Ireland and Clare in your mind, and that matched up. I don't know how aware you were otherwise. Ireland's reputation has been kind of welcoming, people being fairly friendly. The Ironsides and the Stack Pools certainly were friendly in putting a roof over your head. In your other interactions, be it playing guitar in the pubs or waking up in a ditch, I think someone threw a blanket over you at one stage. Did you find that people in 1980s Ireland were pretty friendly?
Yes, there were. But everybody I met friendly and let's say friendly and straight. Let's say this is why they didn't care much about details, or may he get a Koch living outside. No, he's used to it probably. Let's lay him down. he's strong, so well he
knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant stuff. I mean, at some point, you're there at least a month and a half, perhaps even longer. At what point do Mr. and Mrs. Denninger manage to get a hold of you? I suppose it's more difficult back in 1980 than it is now. They could have called you on your mobile phone or sent you a message on social media or WhatsApp or whatever. Back then it was a lot more difficult, but I am sure they were at their wits' end. Where is our Michael? Had they put out a missing persons report for you?
Yes, they did, and I was searched by the police and by the organization from England, the
Interpol.
Interpol, yeah, thank you. They were searching for me, and I heard later than when I left the Ironsides, about 3 or 4 hours later after I left, the 2 or 3 cars were coming from Interpol with lots of people searching for me, and at this time. I already went off the bus to Limerick and walked back to the cliffs to walk to Lahinch. So they had no chance to find me. But in Lahinch as well, the policeman from Lahinch asked me, "Hey, I heard some people are looking for a guy from Germany and so on." I told him a story, write a card to my mother. Oh, she probably is in search for me. I wrote down a wrong address and I put it into the post office and so. But finally, I think my mother found out the address from the Stackpool family, and we had a phone call. And then she was quite happy, of course, that she found me. And I said, okay, time is over and my money was over as well. So I then decided to go home again. Okay.
Were you grounded for the next few years? Were you allowed to even wander 5 meters away from the house?
No, that was the next great part of the story. My mother, of course, when I was back in Germany, took me to social work, to policeman, to the police, and so. And the social worker talked to my mother and said, "You have to understand your son is much older than his age looks like. So you have to give him more freedom to go here and there." And so I was allowed to go out until 10. At the age of 14, it was Germany unusual at these times. I had more freedom to do this and that, and but I didn't went out again. So I didn't run away again. So I stayed at home. I had my adventure, and yeah.
Yeah, and what an adventure it was. And I know you lost connection with the Ironsides event and Stackpools, but that eventually reconnected. And you've already touched on that wasn't your last time in Clare. Have you come back on and off in the years since, and you've introduced Clare to your family, your wife, and so on. And do they see why you love the place?
Yes, I did, especially with my wife. My parents, they were not that interested in Ireland because they say always raining and weather's terrible and we don't want to go there. But my wife did, and we went very often to Ireland. I think the first time was after 10 or 12 years, and we visited the Ironsides. We didn't met the Stackpools at that time, but we met them afterwards on my next visit. And in between, I think it was like 7 or 8 years in a row, we went boating on River Erne in the Shannon. This was one of our hobbies. And to be honest, it was because my wife said, after being 3 times in Ireland, if your island has got the same weather the next time, I will never visit it again. And so so where we have to find a solution.
Has she not heard of a rain jacket?
she has, yeah. And then, but when we went then by boat on the Shannon and Erne, it was more comfortable for her because she could stay inside, and also had a great experience by traveling by boat on the rivers and so. And then she heard the first time about the famous Irish summer by policemen who made a coffee break, and they told her how to recognize the Irish summer, and she went, well, what? The rain's getting warmer. So
he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Michael, it's been wonderful chatting with you. What an incredible story and brilliant memories. For anyone interested, you write and have released songs as a tribute to Clare under the name Erla. Where can people hear your music?
They can hear it on SoundCloud, totally free of charge. Just go on SoundCloud. It's a sound portal where hobby musicians can, or even half professional, can put their music on. And I put the whole album there, some additional music from some country music as well, but also the whole album for Ella. And it would be really great if someone here. So looking forward to all comments, if you like it or not. And probably in summer, I'm going back to the Ironsides. We'll have a party, and we'll have a great party with friends of them, sing the songs, and listen to the music, because they have a family, friend who can, or all musicians. I'm really looking forward to that. And that's the next step.
Well, I have to say, it is wonderful to hear that all these years later, you're still making a return to Clare to hang out with the people that you knew all those years ago. So it's wonderful that those bonds were the form back then are remaining in place. Michael Denninger, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Focus. And when you're back in Clare, pop in and say hi.
I will probably. Sure. Thank you for the chance to talk to you. And I'm looking forward to everything what comes next.